Hello, and welcome to the Nerdiest podcast, where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Jackson Glass here, and I'm, as always, am with the wonderful, always talented, always friendly, always amazing, always wonderful, always smiling, always here, the Nerdiest podcast, Mr. Nick Barrett.
Oh, thank God. I was like waiting for you to say my name. There were like 4 different spots there where you could have said my name and you didn't. Hello, I'm here. Continually suffering as usual.
You know how it be. Man, you know,
Always
you
be
see,
suffering.
I'm just, if you don't trust us yet, I have an iPhone. I'm not a villain. Don't worry.
Hey, same. I also have an iPhone.
You can't be a villain and use Apple products, so.
I actually have all Apple products, iPhone, iPad, MacBook.
I mean,
good. All I'm missing is the Apple Watch.
Apple Watch. You don't have AirPods.
Oh, that's right. I don't. I have Beats for over the ear or like over the head stuff, and then I have Raycons as my earbuds.
Well,
so yeah.
I think because my AirPods are kind of old now. I've had them for like 2 years, but it was like, I think this is the original model, and they're kind of dirty, but also like sometimes. Oh no, Discord tried to switch to the device because I opened it. Sometimes, like, they just don't connect to my computer.
I can't hear you.
Oh, no. I can. Okay, are you back?
There we go. Never mind. It's good. It's good.
Stupid AirPods. But every time I try to connect them to my computer, sometimes it'll just be like, yeah, it's connected. And then I play something and it just plays through my speakers. And it literally does not work until I restart my computer. And I'm like, what?
Raycons.com. We're not sponsored, but go buy Raycons. Not sponsored,
but affiliates, question mark?
Actually, no, I don't think they're on Amazon.
Oh, that's sad. Look. Yeah. I actually, for the first time last night, got to use my AirPods with the Switch because it's had Bluetooth capability for a while now, but I never got to use it until last night, so got to play some...
Oh, never mind. The Raycons are on Amazon.
Oh, snap.
Could make an affiliate link,
anyway,
but why would I? That's
so what's
so
up?
Much work.
What's up? Good week? How's your week, huh?
Good week. Before I talk about my week, though, I'm going to take a second to plug the Instagram and the TikTok. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Nerdiest Podcast. And if you're listening on Spotify, which 62% of you are, feel free to check out the description for either a poll or a question of the week. There might be both this week. We'll see what happens, but it'll be there in the description so you can check it out. Now, my week has been, hoo boy, what a week it has been. So, all I'm going to say is, like, a day after we recorded the last episode, I got sick.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Rona, thankfully. It was just, like, a stomach bug or, like, a brief cold or something. But, like, my whole body shut down for a solid 48 hours, and I was just, like, laying in bed. I was like, I feel miserable. But I still had to go to school because, like, they were like, well, if you don't show up, you miss the attendance. And it was, like, 8 hours worth of attendance, and I was like, well, I have to go. I didn't have a fever or anything. I wore my mask the whole time, so, like, it was fine. And, like, I told my friends, I was like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. If you still want to sit next to me, great. But I am kind of sick. Not contagious sick, but if you want to sit next to me, you can. So, and then it's just been, like, this ever-constant, like, changing chain of, like, something else is wrong with me. Because I went from being sick to I feel fine, but I had a pounding headache for, like, 2 days. And my throat just, like, I could not stop coughing. I could not, like, it was constantly dry, and my throat was in pain. So we get to this week, and then my headache went away. My throat finally cleared up. But now there's, like, something wrong with my tongue. So it just hurts to talk or
That's great.
to drink or whatever.
So
great. It's great. And to make matters worse, I did, in fact, stub my toe this morning.
I saw it.
So that is, like, the cherry on top of just, like, stabbing my toe. But other than that, than those bad
things,
has
the check engine light coming on. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I need to go back to the doctor. Other than that, it's been pretty good. I will say, at school, we filmed an entire documentary all about this local game store, which should be on it. Honestly, by the time this podcast comes out, it will be out or close to being out by the time this comes out, so maybe I share it on the Instagram or something. we'll see where it ends up getting posted. I don't know who in our group's gonna post it yet. Also, if you're watching the video version, I got 2 Zelda posters, one of which is on the wall behind me, and I got a Master Sword from one of my friends for Christmas, and I bought sword mounts on Amazon and hung that up. And then even further behind me, you can kind of see it. I have a katana that my mom got me years ago that I hung under my Demon Slayer poster. So
bougie.
Hopefully my background is a lot more aesthetically interesting to look at, and you're not just looking at a blank white wall for hours on end. So yeah, aside from all of that, and my last thing, I got to go back to the theaters. I got to go see Belle, which is an anime movie that is basically, the easiest way I can explain it is present day Beauty and the Beast with less romance.
That's what I heard.
It was actually really good because, like, we live in this world where, you know, the Cinderella story is getting remade literally like twice a year. And, you know, there's always a new Snow White, there's always a new, like, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, and I don't ever really see new versions of Beauty and the Beast. So this one had a really nice take, and I really enjoyed it. Except for Beauty and the
Beat by Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj. Just a reminder, she's the queen of rap. So
that is true. Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap.
Just a reminder.
So yeah, my week's been fine, other than like getting sick and stuff. Yep. So yeah, how was your week, sir?
Cool.
How have you been?
I'm kind of tired. A lot of schoolwork going on, but the thing is, like, when schoolwork goes on, when you're like, you know, college age, like graduating high school type thing, it's like, oh, well, you still have a job and a life and all this and school. So it's like, just do everything. Like, oh, yeah, okay. Starting to feel like the older sister in Encanto, so that's not great.
Whoa.
Pretend like a drip, till you just go pop. Wow.
Shoot. Hold on. Not to interrupt you, but I totally forgot one of the biggest things I did this week. No, I forgot. I started driving for Uber Eats because I need to get that the side hustle, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff isn't gonna pay for itself.
Side hustle.
All these video games this year aren't gonna pay for themselves. So that's been fun.
Dang.
So okay, go back. Continue.
No,
I can't believe I forgot about that.
I'm kind of tired, but overall pretty good. I completely forgot. Some of our friends got a puppy, and I got to go see it last night. So cute. We played Catan.
Some of your friends, you can just say David.
Okay, David got a puppy from the Coffee Time podcast. Got a puppy. His name is Kodak. I love that thing with my whole heart.
Is he a camera?
No, but he's named after a camera. And right now, I'm just making sure, because he's like a pure golden retriever, and I'm making sure he doesn't feel too much pressure to be a basketball player like Air Bud. Because there's like a standard set by those movies. So I'm trying to keep that dog in a healthy environment where he, you know, doesn't watch too much Paw Patrol and get stressed out like, oh my gosh, I gotta be a police officer, I gotta be a firefighter. So we're trying to keep the dog in a healthy environment. He can be whatever he wants. So that's
Have
cool.
you seen that clip on TikTok where they put like the No Way Home audience reaction over the Paw Patrol trailer?
That's my favorite meme right now is when the like big theater reactions to like stupid movies. I think my favorite one I saw was like Gene gets out of Candy Crush in the Emoji Movie real theater reaction. It's so bad. Let's go! And then tonight is my first lock-in that I'm kind of excited for. I'm chaperoning. It'll be fun. From 6:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. So...
Wait. So you say your first lock-in, like you never went to one?
No.
As a student? Like this is your first one and you're chaperoning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
Well, I'll be dead honest with you. I was never allowed to go because...
Listen. Church lock-ins are like every Christian kid's favorite thing because it's the time where you can be quote-unquote edgy. Because you can stay up past your 10 o'clock bedtime and eat ice cream. I will say at one lock-in, we did completely clean and sanitize like an old gutter and we put ice cream in the gutter and ate out of the gutter.
No.
It was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh.
We all then proceeded to immediately go into a sugar coma and sleep for the rest of the night, and it was like midnight. So that was definitely planned out by the chaperones as like, we'll knock them out.
Well, they put on the schedule. It was like 3 to 5. They were like Mario Kart in this room, movie in this room, but it also says /sleep. And I was like, y'all, I'm just going to see what happens when I get there, because I will either be on a cloud 11 or I will already be asleep. There's no middle ground. I'm going to like maybe shotgun a cold brew or something. I don't know. But I'm excited. I was never allowed to go because the only other time that there was an event like that going on, I was like 13, and I asked my mom, I was like, yo, can I go to this lock-in? It's so cool. And she was like,
no.
No,
honey, you can't go.
No,
you're too young.
She said, it's a co-ed lock-in. And I was like, oh my gosh.
No socializing with the opposite gender.
No,
not allowed.
Man,
you want to socialize with girls? No.
No. She's like, I trust you. It's girls I don't trust. And I
That's
was like,
fair. I mean,
I respect it. We lived at Seattle.
Especially
Seattle
if you got those older high school girls, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like those 15,
yeah.
16, 17. Mm-hmm. Those girls cannot be trusted around a 13-year-old. Absolutely not.
We lived in Seattle at the time, and like I'd only been going there for like a month. So like she's not in the wrong.
Fair.
I just think it's funny that like this is my first experience.
My last thing about the lock-in. Well, actually, two last things. One, I remember doing a lock-in with this group called Trail Life, which you know what I'm talking about.
That's where we met.
Basically just right.
Oh my gosh, that's so
we
crazy.
We had a lock-in there where I kid you not, we all stayed up overnight and played Just Dance all night.
Just Dance?
It was so great. Just Dance. All
Nothing
night.
else.
We took turns going back and forth. No.
Bruh.
Someone brought their Xbox. It was like an Xbox 360, and we just played Just Dance all night. And I was like, whoa. But then, of course, my granddad freaking forced me to go to sleep because he was my chaperone that went with me because I couldn't be allowed to go by myself.
Yeah, of course not.
And he was like, all right, it's 3 a.m. You're going to sleep. And I was like, but it's just getting good. We just did Katy Perry on Just Dance. We're about to do Maroon 5. You're telling me I need to go to sleep.
I thought you were going to say dodgeball, because when I was there, we did nothing but play dodgeball.
See, we did do dodgeball, but then they, like, sold out that center, like, gym area because they're like, some people want to sleep. And I'm like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
That's just lame.
Well, if you see, I'm going to try to not fall asleep because I'm just asking for someone to, like, draw on my face. Like,
Exactly.
What do you want?
No, it's not safe, especially as a chaperone. You have, like, an infinitely larger target on your back.
No, absolutely.
Second to last thing about chaperones. Do you have any other chaperones going with you, or are you the only chaperone?
Well, it's it'll probably be, like, 20 kids in, like, 7th and 8th grade, and then I think there's...
You can handle 20 kids by yourself.
No.
Easy.
I think there's 4 other... No, it's me and 4 other people. So it'll be completely fine. And, like, kids aren't stupid. Like...
Well, I mean
I don't know. I mean...
I don't know if I'd say that.
14-year-olds today are smarter than 14-year-old me, so...
That sounds like a you problem.
Oh, man.
I don't think
everything goes back to homeschool. So
everything goes back to how much PBS Kids I was allowed to watch.
No, okay. So I'm gonna officially start the news segment because there's something I need to talk about. I
think I know what it is.
We planned a whole thing, and we were like, okay, we want some news stories for this week, and then they just kept piling on.
The news just kept coming. I was sitting in the car the other day. I was like, dang, I need 2 news stories for this podcast we're going to record at the end of the week. And then, like, while I was sitting in school, they were like, boom, news, boom, news, boom, news, boom, news. And I was like, what is it about this week specifically that is just news, news?
There's so many announcements. That'll be the meat of this episode. We're going to talk about everything that's happened, everything that's been announced, shows, movies, games, whatnot. But you said PBS Kids, which made me think... Arthur is coming to an end. in February.
I don't like this.
Arthur, if you don't know, if you know, you know, you're a real one. But Arthur,
every day when you're walking down the street,
everybody that you meet, I don't know the actual words, but
has an original point of view.
And I say, hey.
But
Arthur has been going on PBS Kids for what, 24 years?
Something like that.
And this is like February is the finale, and like it's like an end of an era. It really is, because that was a huge part of my childhood.
Same. Like, Arthur was by no means new when I was watching it.
No,
like,
me neither.
Not like, well, maybe a little over 10 years ago. Dang. Sorry. I just had the realization that I will be 2 decades old this year.
What's that?
I don't know how to feel about that.
What's that Kevin Hart meme where he's like, I'm 43 years old. Dang! I'm sorry.
Dang!
I'm sorry.
Me.
I'm sorry. But no, I just wanted to mention that because, but there is a good part of shows coming to an end, and that is you can watch from beginning to end.
Arthur binge marathon?
Arthur Pod? New Arthur Pod?
How many episodes?
Subsidiary of the Nerdiest podcast, where Arthur Rewatch Pod?
I mean, okay, hold on. Can we talk about how many, like, rewatch podcasts are coming out now?
Yeah, because
like, within the last year, I've seen one. There's obviously, like, The Office Ladies for The Office with Pam and Angela. And then there's Braving the Elements for Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then, obviously, the New Girl one just got announced. And there's, like, 10 other... Like, there's, like, 4 different community rewatch podcasts. And I'm like, what is it about rewatch podcasts? Is it just, like, free content?
There's one for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia now. I think it's, like... So, and this is something I realized with The Office, because I listened to Office Ladies for, like, 10 episodes, and then I was like, this is kind of cringy. Because I was like, not to sound rude, but, like, move on. Like...
Yeah, like, you kind of gotta let The Office go
at some point. It's like, I understand that was a huge part of the actors' lives, and it's, like, something you want to hold on to forever, but also, like, that doesn't mean you need a podcast where you go through every single episode, because it's, like...
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously people care because they're still going, but also I'm like, who cares?
I think something, honestly, like, a better alternative to rewatch podcasts is, like, if you're making a new show, I'm just going to use Arcane as an example, because that's literally the first thing that came to my head, was, like, when you start airing season 2 of that, have a new episode where you do... Because the thing about these rewatch podcasts is, like, they talk about all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and, like, oh, here's a funny thing that happened on set that day when we were filming XY episode. Like, do that kind of thing, but as your show is airing. Like, if you have something funny that happened in season 2, episode 5 of Arcane... Which, by the way, don't anybody get the wrong idea that I've actually watched Arcane. It's on my list. I'm getting to it eventually. I know I need to watch it. People can stop hounding me to watch it. Anyway, if you get to that episode and you have a podcast, like a week after that episode comes out, put out a podcast that says, here's all of the funny behind-the-scenes things that happened. So do it as it's airing, so that way people who are caught up can listen to it, you know,
but there's also
during the week. Or
there's something to
like,
say
all
for, like... It's a lot of fun to go back to season 1 of a show when you know how it ends. And so I think of
That's true.
Friends where, like, spoiler alert for Friends, like, I think of how Monica and Chandler ended up together in the end. And then when you watch older seasons, you're like, oh, they're, like, perfect for each other. So, like, those older seasons before they were together, like, they're obviously, like, moving in that direction. So I think that's a lot of fun. But also, like... There's just too many podcasts, and as a podcast, I can say that.
we need to Thanos snap the podcast market. Just cut it in half.
Here's what we do:
just eliminate half the podcasts.
Spotify needs to say, if you have not released a podcast in an episode in the last year, goodbye. You get
well, hold on. Well, I don't think you take their episodes off, like. The service, but I think, yeah, I don't think you need to, like, because I've seen shows, like, that pop up in my, like, oh, you like anime? Here's an anime podcast, and they haven't posted anything in, like, a year. And I'm like, why is this still circulating then?
One of my favorite...
Like, I see your point. Like, just stop circulating it if you haven't put out in a certain amount of time.
And I think...
YouTube does that. Instagram does that. TikTok does that. Why can't Spotify do it?
So, this is on the list, and it makes me realize there was a Cuphead show trailer that I did not watch.
Oh, it looks so good.
I did not watch it. Shall I?
What?
Do I need to watch it?
Yes, watch it right now.
Okay.
Pull it up on your phone.
I also didn't
We're going to pause the episode right here so Jackson can watch the Cuphead trailer. Did you watch the Moon Knight trailer? Because I put that on the list too. All right, we're going to pause the episode right here. Jackson's going to watch both of those trailers, and we will be back in a quick cut. 3, 2, 1, go. In the middle of this pause, I want to take a second to tell you about our sponsor for today's episode, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is one of the fastest growing mobile MMORPGs, and if you use code Nerdiest Podcast, you can get free stuff in the game. Isn't that crazy? I'm just kidding. We're not actually sponsored by Raid, but if you did want to sponsor us, Raid, you can. Please do. Like, we could use the sponsorship. I will genuinely sit here and read a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship if you sponsor us. Just putting that out there, Raid. Okay, back to the episode.
Okay, we're back.
Welcome back.
I just watched both trailers, and I'm excited now. So.
All right, so we're going to do Cuphead first, because it's on the list first, and I probably have less to say about it than Moon Knight.
I know absolutely nothing about Cuphead. I never played the game. I
was literally about to ask if you'd played the game.
No, I've heard it's difficult, and
it's hard.
I'm just like, okay, that's the only thing I know about it. I love the art style. I think that's really cool. The voice acting sounds good just based on the trailer. I probably won't watch the show just because I'm not connected, but I think it looks good.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the show is... Because based on what I know about the game, I haven't finished the game. Honestly, I probably should this year. Mm-hmm. At some point, maybe I'll move it further up on my list, but I got stuff on my Switch that I want to play. Which, I need your opinion on this, okay? I've already beat Cuphead most of the way on my Xbox. But, for the sake of having everything on my Switch, do I re-buy it on the Switch and start over?
I think that's a personal call.
Then what was the point of me asking you the question? Anyway,
so I really hope. Hey, figure it out. I hope that was helpful.
I feel like the Cuphead show is gonna it's gonna be a show version of the game. Like, it's just gonna be a more narrative version of the game for people who don't want to play it or think it's too hard or couldn't finish it or never got into it or whatever.
Or just really like the game and want to think it's a good show.
It's definitely a very targeted audience, but what I will say is I'm kind of disappointed that Cuphead got a show before Bendy and the Ink Machine did. I feel like one of these franchises is a lot more story-heavy and story-driven than the other.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm still excited for the Cuphead show, and I'm going to watch it when it comes out on February 18th.
Very cool. Can we do Moon Knight now since I just watched the trailer?
Yes. I had a thought about Moon Knight while you were watching the trailer. Is this the first Marvel show that does not focus or is not centered around a pre-existing character? Because we had WandaVision, which was centered around Wanda. Falcon and the Winter Soldier were established characters. Loki was an established character. What If doesn't really count because they're kind of established characters,
all
but not really.
It was only established characters.
And Hawkeye is an established character.
Yeah, this is
so Moon Knight is the first true Marvel original show.
I'm gonna be dead honest. I thought Moon Knight was a movie, and then this trailer dropped, and they were like, "The Disney Plus original show," and I'm like,
kind of should have been a movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Strongly disagree. I think that this is the perfect direction Marvel needs to go, saying, hey, this is a new character, and we're going to take the time to learn to know him, to learn about him.
Actually, yeah, I guess that's fair.
So, it's like, this looks like such a cool character, and I think this is, will he be in a movie someday? Probably. Everything in the MCU connects. But I think the show is a good move for them. And Oscar Isaac is dope. He's so cool. Such a good actor. He was great in Dune, even though I didn't like Dune. And he, no fault to him for Star Wars, because he did great with what he was given.
Yeah, he did. He killed it in Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know very little about the character, and it looks like kind of a new spin, different genre for Marvel, a little scarier, that I'm like kind of excited for, honestly. Like, they're really branching out. So there we go.
I don't know if I still feel like I don't know if I still feel like I'm in that Marvel burnout or not. Because after No Way Home, like I don't know how long I need before I feel like I can watch Marvel stuff again. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I was really burned out by 2021. And, you know, maybe by the time we get to March and Moon Knight comes out, I'll be fine. Or, you know, maybe I'll be like, wow, I really need a break from Marvel stuff still. I'm going to wait till Multiverse of Madness. Like, so, I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. I may watch it on release. I may not.
Yeah, that looks like one, because I also feel like Marvel needs some redemption in their series, because like Hawkeye is good, but it's not like, you can't put Loki and Hawkeye next to each other. Like, those are on different playing fields, because Loki is phenomenal and Hawkeye is good. And like, I feel like Moon Knight could be another one of those smash hits like Loki and WandaVision was, because because like Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye are just, less effort was obviously put into them. So I feel like this is one, because it's brand new character, they're going to put the effort into it. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. Also, this is kind of a good segue to talk about scarier superhero movies. The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
I have not been following this movie at all. I'm going to be honest with you.
Anything that I see from it is kind of against my will. I'm not intentionally looking for it. It just pops up on Twitter. Not to say I'm like tied up and Twitter's feeding me Batman news, but it pops up when you follow like Get Fandom and whatever. But it got a rating for PG-13. And let me read what it's PG-13 for. So
Film Twitter has been tearing this movie apart.
Oh, because it got an official rating of PG-13 for strong, violent, and disturbing content, language, drugs, and suggestive material. That's a lot. And I think,
there's no dirty scene between Batman and Catwoman. Yeah. So everything I wanted in a Batman movie.
Everyone's
That's
like,
literally like the epitome of film Twitter right now. With the Batman, they're like, what?
Why isn't it rated R? And I'm like, why do you want an R-rated
Batman's not going to get romantic with Catwoman in this movie about Batman when that literally, like, contributes nothing to the plot other than fan service? What?
Y'all are gross.
No.
Y'all are sick. You know that?
Guys.
Y'all are sick.
It's a movie about a guy who dresses up like a bat and fights crime. Like, come on.
Come on, guys.
Jeez.
And so people are like, why isn't it rated R? And, like, I see what they want. I see where they're like, Batman, because Batman is dark, Batman is brooding, Batman's like intense, and so like seeing gritty R Batman is like, I see the appeal, but also understand this is DC PG-13, because Marvel PG-13 is like, gather the family so we can watch Captain Marvel. Wow, what a great representation! Whoa, such a good role model for young girls. Where this is gonna be like, don't tell your religious grandparents you're gonna see this because they'll disown you. Like, this is, understand, this is not like Marvel PG-13. It's rated PG-13 for disturbing content. Like, you're gonna get what you want.
And DC PG-13 really, I feel like, pushes the boundaries of what is PG-13.
I agree.
Like, if PG-13 is a spectrum, Marvel's kind of somewhere in the middle, and DC is, like, right up on the line between PG-13 and R.
No, I agree.
Like, they are probably, like, one or two swear words away from an R rating.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I agree. And I also think you need to understand, like, the theater industry is not doing great. And R literally stands for restricted. They need to appeal to the widest audience possible. You need to be able to have as many people in your theater seeing that movie possible, or else it's going to flop hard. So,
did you hear it got a runtime of 2 hours and 55 minutes?
I'm not going to see this.
That totally turned me off from going to see it.
No,
I was like,
no,
do
me
I want to
too.
sit in the theater and see like a 3-hour movie? Like,
I was like,
No Way Home felt long, and that was 2.5 hours.
So, 1, No Way Home feels like 20 minutes. 2,
that's not true. That's not true.
No, it's true. You are of, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. You are
I will say,
in the hot take.
I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but I was sitting in the theater the other day watching Belle, and it felt like a long movie. Like, there were, and I don't know if it was the way it was paced or like the way the story structure was, but it felt like there were multiple points in that movie where I was like, oh, we're getting to the climax. No. Oh, we're getting to the climax of the film. We're moving into the no.
Because there's nothing wrong with long
And then I
movies.
looked at it, when it was over, because I was like, how long was this movie? An hour and a half. And I was like, what?
What?
That was an hour and a half? That felt like 3 hours.
See, there's nothing wrong with long movies. It's when you do it wrong, they feel like an eternity. So, like...
And I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It was still a really good movie. I just don't know what it was that made it feel so long. I don't know if it's because I had stuff I wanted to do after seeing the movie that I was looking forward to, or what.
It's because Inception
it was something.
Is 2 hours and 28 minutes long. I consider that pretty long.
That movie felt long. That movie felt long.
And Inception is pretty long, but I've seen that movie like 8 times. I can watch it. It's long, but I feel like it's paced really well. Where movies I watched the Justice League Snyder cut, and I thought it was never going to end. It never ends. And I'm like...
It doesn't end. That's the plot twist, is that Zack Snyder actually never made an ending for the movie, so it just keeps going for all eternity.
So, there we go. I'm not a huge Batman fan, so I can't speak a whole lot. I don't do a lot of DC
I'll probably
things.
end up seeing it. I'm sure my friends are going to want to go see it, or I'm going to end up going there to see it because I have the Regal Pass, and I can go see it for free. But I will say, it's probably not a movie that I would pay to go see. And that's nothing against the movie. That speaks more to my taste in film in general.
Sorry, I don't want to see Cedric Diggory beat up a ton of guys. I'm sorry. And I saw a clip.
That's just me. What can I say?
I'm not watching The Peacemaker, but I saw a clip that I thought was kind of funny where Peacemaker's, I think it was his dad. I'm not watching it. I'm sorry. But he was like, you're nothing compared to Batman. And he was like, excuse me. He's like, all Batman does is get people in jail so they can break out and kill more people. And I was like...
Shoot, he kind of got a point,
though. Based Peacemaker? What? I was like...
John Cena kind of spitting facts?
I was like,
what?
All right, you're kind of right. So... Because I think it's funny, they're like, Batman doesn't kill people. And I'm like, yeah, but their hospital bills will.
Yeah, come on now. They'll die out of the severe debt that they're in.
He's like...
Because Batman, clotheslined you off a building.
It's question mark? I don't know. Do we want to talk about...
Is this the part where we segue into gaming news?
Is this where we talk about Lego Star Wars?
No, not yet.
Not yet? All right.
We have to talk about the big, the big overall
the big
gaming news this week, and then we can talk about the gaming news that we actually care about. So, it was announced on Tuesday that Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, which is a lot of freaking money. Someone pointed out on Twitter, Nintendo's market worth, if they were to be bought, is only 30-something million. So,
I would like to say...
Yes, you in the glasses with your hand raised.
I think that they should have just paid $3 more million and made it a cold $69 billion. Missed opportunity, if you ask me.
Actually, I think everyone rounds it up to 70. They're like, oh yeah, it was 70 billion. And I'm like, whoa, you're throwing an extra you're throwing an extra $1.3 billion on there. Hold on now.
Did you say Nintendo's market worth is $200 million?
No, I said 35 billion, I think.
Billion.
So about half of what they paid for Activision
I wasn't
Blizzard,
listening.
Which everyone's like, oh, well, Sony's going to buy Nintendo. Nobody's going to buy Nintendo. One, because they just won't.
It's not for sale.
Two, because Nintendo's not going to sell.
Nintendo's not for
sale. They're not going to sell themselves out for another company.
If I'm dead honest.
By the way, I'm pretty sure... I know at least in Japan, they are the richest gaming company in the world. They have no debts. They have nothing. So all of this profit from the Switch, well, most of it they're turning around and putting into new development studios and all this new stuff in Japan. But also anything else they keep goes to pay their employees and then goes in the bank in case they have another Wii U level failure, which hopefully they don't.
I'll be dead honest. I see Sony selling their gaming side at some point in the future. I see it.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think the PlayStation 5 is doing too good. I will say,
they
it
can
seems
make
like
more.
The other two consoles are kind of giving up in Japan, though.
Yeah.
And I know that's not like an American thing, but like last year, the PlayStation 5 didn't even sell 100 million units.
Because they didn't make
or
100
no, sorry,
million units.
not 100 million units. They didn't even sell 1 million units. They got like 900 something thousand.
But also the amount of people.
Whereas the Switch, no, the Switch sold like, how many did the Switch sold? They sold like 5.2 million units just in Japan last year.
Man.
So I feel like you couldn't even combine PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. You wouldn't even get close to Nintendo. But
there's also
so I feel like everyone is just kind of giving up on Japan.
Well, they're
like, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
They made a market and they made a console that is like, they almost made like the perfect console that you can, like, it appeals to everyone and you can buy it at any point in your life and it's fine. So like, I don't know. I think
another thing against the PlayStation and Xbox in Japan is those consoles are kind of big. They're kind of beefy, and Japanese people don't have big houses like we do here in the States. They have like, honestly, Japanese.
And that's not a dig.
From
That's
what I
cultural
know.
difference.
No, that's not a dig. That's just how it is over there. From what I know, most Japanese apartments are not even as big as the one I have. So they don't necessarily have room for a big 75-inch flat screen OLED 4K TV with, my $600 PlayStation 5 hooked up to it. That's why the Switch is so popular, because it's tiny, doesn't have to be on a TV, and you can take it wherever you want to go.
And
that's just what works for the Japanese market.
Don't they have like a huge like train and subway system? Not like we don't have that.
Japan is a lot like the cities here in America, where you rely a lot more on public transportation than you do owning your own car or whatever. A lot of people bike in Japan.
Yeah.
A lot of people walk. So it's just a very different culture, one that I would love to learn more about.
Podcast trip to Japan?
Podcast trip to Japan. Live
mark?
podcast from Mount Fuji.
Question mark?
Just sitting in the actual
volcanic
crater.
Like Wii Sports Resort.
Set a gear up. Yeah, just sit in the volcano and record a podcast.
I'll just bring an inhaler. It's fine. So I think something for Microsoft to buy Activision, something that I thought of is, what is under Activision is Call of Duty. So are all Call of Duties going to be Xbox exclusive?
No. Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, made a tweet, I want to say yesterday or a couple days ago, saying, just got off the phone with Sony. We still intend to uphold all of our contracts with all the other platforms. So Call of Duty will not be an Xbox exclusive. He literally just said Call of Duty, though. He said nothing about the new Overwatch. He said nothing about a new Diablo. Literally anything else. He was like, yeah, Call of Duty will still be, multi-platform.
Well, that's the only one
I'm assuming everything else will be Xbox exclusive.
So, this is also a big deal because this means that there's hope for Guitar Hero revival, because Activision was under all the Guitar Hero games.
Coming to Game Pass?
Also, this is big. Maybe one of my 22 predictions will come true. You know what's under Activision? Skylanders. Okay?
Now,
Skylanders in 2022, guys. It's happening. We're making it happen.
No, it can't be this year because the deal doesn't actually close until I think it's between June of this year and March of next year.
Oh.
They announced that they're buying them today, but they haven't actually
I guess you don't
cross T's and dotted I's to actually
don't just sign your name
make
and
the
then,
transfer.
all right, well, this $68 billion deal
Yeah,
is
no,
done.
it's not just a credit card swipe where it's just done. We own a company.
You got to do the chip.
You know why? Before we move on to the next topic, you know why they bought Activision, right? You know why Activision sold.
I feel like I do.
So they had that super huge scandal.
Is it because they don't want to deal with what happened in the workplace?
Yeah, there's been
Yeah.
a lot of, for lack of a better word, well, I'll just say it. There was a lot of sexual harassment in their workplace, and it is a PR disaster for Activision Blizzard. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone there was, participated in that culture, but from what I've heard and like
It was
articles
bad.
I've read, it was a majority of people who worked there, and that's really unfortunate. That
It
shouldn't
is.
happen. It's very unprofessional, and even if it's not professional, just don't be a sucky person
Yeah.
like that. Like,
No.
treat
And I
everyone
think
with respect.
It's
Like,
also like, but hey, maybe we can save it. Maybe like everything will be okay now that they're under new management.
yeah,
So-
and that I think that was the bigger thing that like Phil Spencer said was like, which by the way, the current CEO of Activision Blizzard is fired.
Good.
As soon as like the transfer goes through, he's out, and they're replacing him with someone else, and everyone will report directly to Phil Spencer. So I think that's what a lot of it had to do, because I know the gaming industry as a whole kind of banded together, and they're like, hey, this is not right, this is inappropriate, unprofessional, all that stuff. And I think the general consensus was like, Activision is not going to fix this on their own. Like, they need some external help to fix this. And I think that's what this deal was.
Yeah.
Was an like, it was a nice way for Xbox to bolster their Game Pass, bolster like the IP that they own, and also externally fix it so this studio doesn't like die.
Yeah.
So
hey,
we'll see what happens.
I have high hopes. I think it'll be really good. Is
All
it
right,
time?
on to the big news.
Is it time?
Biggie cheese.
I'm so excited.
Biggie cheese.
Biggie cheese. My nickname in college.
You're not in college yet. It doesn't count.
That's the joke.
Anyway, the big news this week: Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga finally got a release date. Holy heckers! April 5th for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all the
Let's
places.
go. So excited.
I'm not gonna lie, they dropped that gameplay trailer. I'm actually like, whoo. The way they showed like how you can actually do combos with lightsabers in the game and like, follow up like an actual fighting game. I was like, dang. Wow.
No wonder
and
it
like
took so long.
health bars and, real like blaster shooting mechanics. I'm like, whoa, y'all have like really gone above and beyond with this game. Dang.
Yeah. No,
I see why
I'm
it got
so
delayed now.
excited. I'm so excited. I think like it's easy to downplay it because it's a Lego game, but also like imagine if you had all these mechanics with like the graphics of say like a Fallen Order game and how huge it would be. And so I think like don't discredit Lego games. They're so great, such high quality, and I think recently Lego games have kind of been like losing their charm as time went on. And I think this might be like one of their like air quote comebacks. Like not that they were really ever gone, but like I think this like based on what we've seen, this looks like it could be one of their best games. And I saw
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Although, I am kind of concerned this might be the last Lego game for a while.
yeah.
Because I remember hearing or seeing somewhere that like TT Games, who works on the Lego games, like either they went bankrupt or got bought or
Yeah.
like are shutting down. I don't fully, because I remember that happening, and I was like, oh shoot, are we still gonna get Lego Star Wars? Like, or is it just gonna get shifted to a different developer and then be really crappy when
Yeah.
it comes out? But that's not what's happening
Hey,
for this game.
they
At least.
didn't-
I don't know about any future games.
They didn't sequel trilogy the game. They didn't just hand it
Oh,
off
thank
to a
God.
new director. Thank God. That was close. And I saw a take. You saw it too. I'll decide if I want to drop names at the end. I saw a take that I strongly disagreed with, where someone said that they're concerned because it's a reboot, not a remake. And I think
it's better that it's a reboot.
no, I agree.
I think because there are some hardcore fans who are like, just remake the Skywalker, or just remake the complete saga. And I'm like, okay, well,
Why not?
first of all,
Just
if you
go play
remake the complete saga, there's going to be a ton of people who are like, where's the Clone Wars? Where's the Mandalorian? Where's, the sequel trilogy? Like, yeah, we hated the movies, but like still, like some people do want to play through that content. So, and there's something else to say about like the same people who whine and cry when, Nintendo releases a $60 port remake of Skyward Sword, they're like, oh my gosh, how could you do this to me? Are also the ones who are like, yeah, just remake the complete saga. Just remake that and put it on new consoles.
I think it's so stupid. I'm like, just go play the complete saga. It's like,
it's on Xbox 360.
Go to Goodwill, get an Xbox 360, and play the complete saga.
Actually, you could buy it on the Xbox store right now because Xbox is backwards compatible.
Can't. They do backwards compatibility. So I think
maybe
that's
Nintendo should take a note.
I think that's what? Who said what? Who said that? I mean, the Wii had backwards compatibility with the GameCube. So I don't.
And the Wii U had backwards compatibility with the Wii, but the Switch.
Well, it's kind of a new thing. Anyway,
if the next Switch doesn't have backwards compatibility, man, I'm gonna lose it.
We're going to war. I think. No, I just think in an era of nothing but like reboots, and well, I didn't mean to say that because we are praising a reboot, but I think in an era of
no, you mean remakes.
In an era of nothing but remakes and just rehash and the same thing but different, I think yes, this is Star Wars. It's the same story, but it's going to be so completely different that it's going to blow us away. I'm thrilled.
It is. I think it genuinely. I really love the way they showed in that gameplay trailer, you can switch between, different worlds. You can switch between different movies. It's a very complete saga-esque or esque. You can start with the first movie in said trilogy, and then go from there. You don't have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You could do 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever order you want to do it in, and they showed something that really impressed me is they have that whole upgrade system, which I'm sure is going to be a heck of a lot of fun to figure out and explore. But it's you have scavenger characters who can do certain things, and Rey as a scavenger can shoot nets, and you can climb up the nets, and all this other stuff. And it's no one has ever put this much depth or thought or anything into a Lego game before.
My question is, how many hours do you think you will put in to 100% this game? Because it's a beefy game.
At least 75.
Yeah.
75 is my minimum.
If that.
Because here's the thing with playing a new Lego game is all of the guides are not going to be out right away.
Oh yeah.
Because when you play an old Lego game, you can just be like, oh heck, where's this mini kit? I can't find
Google it.
But on these new games, you're not going to get that. You're going to have to actually go find it yourself, which, as I get older, I have a lot more fun going and finding it myself, or at least making an attempt to.
Yeah.
And then when I get frustrated, I'm like, heck, how do I do this?
I found, I took a picture when we 100%ed Lego Harry Potter, but I didn't, there's no time on it. I thought it would tell you how.
I 100% most of my Lego games. I'm not going to lie.
We 100% Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. We actually 100% it twice because it's so much fun. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Complete Saga. I can actually see the shelf from here. Marvel, the old one for the 360. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. We actually did that one too. Yeah.
Dang, you guys 100% all your Lego games. I've only 100%ed Lego Star Wars 3 twice, the Complete Saga twice, and The Force Awakens.
That makes sense. I also have a family of 6, and we all just end up contributing onto the same save file. And so
that makes sense.
Man, I'm so excited.
Here's the most important question about Lego Star Wars. What platform are you going to be getting it on? Because you have an Xbox and you have a Switch. I also have both. I literally went to GameStop yesterday on my way home from school, and I pre-ordered the deluxe edition. I put $10 down for the Switch. So you need to get it on the Switch so we can do online multiplayer.
You see, I thought about that, but I'm waiting to see if it's cross-platform because we just upgraded our Xbox, and so I'm like, it would run so well on the
but
Xbox.
The online multiplayer. Think about the shenanigans, the antics we could get into in online multiplayer Lego Star Wars. That should be enough to convince you.
I also know that I want to get another Switch soon-ish. And so, if I already had that game, it's definitely one I feel like I would play more.
I will say.
So I don't know.
I will say, after seeing Lego Star Wars come out, I all I'm gonna say is I may or may not be investing in setting up my room so I could record gameplay / stream Lego Star Wars. So
Question mark?
we'll see what happens.
We'll
Because
see how
all I
that
need,
happens.
all I need is a second table to prop up my other monitor, and then I can stream.
That'd be so fun.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see
and
what
if you get, we could do online multiplayer. Come on, you gotta get it on the Switch.
Jeez.
You gotta get it on the Switch.
What's this about a movie in development? Quickly go over that.
Oh yeah. It came out yesterday too that they're making a Lego Star Wars movie, and all I was gonna say is I hope it's like the other Lego movies where it's like
It's really
that,
funny.
like stop motion esque animation style, as opposed to like, the CG,
The fully
where, like
animated.
kind of like the Ninjago animation. I prefer the Lego movie animation over that because it's actually like tangible Lego
Yeah.
figures.
More
So-
like the Lego movie, less like the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yes.
Okay.
That is all I want out of
There we
everything.
go.
That's it. All right, ready to move on to the main topic of the episode. 57 minutes
Ready
in.
to quickly go over something that we've been
Quickly go over. Oh no, I don't think you understand
So-
how many thoughts I have on this topic.
this
I'm about
is-
to blow the lid.
This is kind of an interesting story. This topic came up last week when I watched Hotel Transylvania 4. Not a great movie, wouldn't recommend it. But it said
Dang.
Amazon Original.
Not
And
true.
it opened with Amazon Studios Presents. And I'm just thinking, this is a Sony Pictures animation that was fully completed. And then a pandemic hit and it had to only go to Amazon. Amazon did nothing on this movie. And it's an Amazon original.
Oh. Oh.
And streaming services do this all the time. You get Turning Red. You get Turning Red, a Pixar movie that is fully made by Pixar. And I'm assuming is done because it's going to come out like pretty soon. Whoosh, Disney Plus original. No. Okay.
First of all, Turning Red specifically, I have a friend who works at AMC, and she said that they have posters and stuff, like the promotional stuff for in theaters that they just don't know what to do with now.
Oh my god.
And they had like one of those giant cardboard cutouts, and she was like, it's just sitting in the theater. And they moved the movie to Disney Plus. We have no idea what we're going to do with all this promotional stuff. No.
Man.
So, here's my thing about streaming original content, okay? You can brand it streaming original content, like Netflix original, Amazon original, whatever, if you actually put money into said thing. Now, the biggest offender of this kind of thing is Netflix, because on several shows, Comey Can't Communicate, 7 Deadly Sins, a lot of other shows that I can't name off the top of my head, all say a Netflix original anime series. And I look at you and I say, that's not true, because you literally... Okay, so Netflix did not contribute anything. They did not contribute jack squat to 7 Deadly Sins at all. Maybe dubbing, maybe, but that's it. All they did is purchase the streaming rights or the distribution rights outside of Japan.
Yeah.
That is what they bought. And when you buy that, then they apparently have free reign to say Netflix original anime series, which I thought, 7 Deadly Sins is a Netflix original when I first started watching it. Then I found out not only is it made in Japan, not by Netflix, but it airs on normal Japanese TV before it can come to Netflix. The season has to finish airing on Japanese TV before Netflix can bring it over here to outside of Japan. But yet, it's still branded Netflix original anime. And that really bothers me. Because it's like, if you're going to call it a Netflix original, why don't you sink some money into it?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you add a little funding to it to make it better? But no, you just don't spend anything on it other than distribution.
So it's like, The Mandalorian is a Disney Plus original series. You can only watch it on Disney Plus. There was no question of whether it would go literally anywhere else. Disney Plus original series. WandaVision.
No, I mean
Disney Plus original
there's pirate
series.
sites, but that's a different conversation for a different
illegal
podcast.
WandaVision.
I
Original
need to go
series.
off on piracy one of these days because, like,
Anyway,
I got thoughts. But that's not today.
Not today. WandaVision, Disney Plus original series. There was no question of whether it would go anywhere but Disney Plus. That's fine. It's when Pixar makes an entire movie that's intending to go to theaters, I'm like, you did nothing. This is not a group.
Luca, turning red. Another problem I need to talk about is how Pixar is getting totally destroyed by Disney. But that's a different topic for another day.
This is not a group project that you can contribute nothing to and then put your name on. This is not grandma's birthday gift that you can put no money into and then sign your name on the card. No. Get out.
That is the best analogy I've heard for this. Oh, man.
Oof.
Another thing I want to, something I want to distinguish about original content. It's fine to have Netflix original, Amazon original, HBO Max original, whatever. Netflix is the biggest offender of this. I don't think any other streaming services really get into it, because other streaming services actually do contribute to making things. But like the live action Cowboy Bebop, Squid Game, Stranger Things, those are Netflix original shows because they're only going to be on Netflix. They have some of the same conditions as like the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Where, they're only going to be on this service specifically. So, I feel like you need to distinguish between those because the average viewer sees, oh, Squid Game, a Netflix original series. Okay, they bought the rights and they paid to finish production on that show. So therefore, it does count as a Netflix original. Seven Deadly Sins also says it's a Netflix original. You did not contribute jack squat to that anime. At least not that people know publicly. Like, which is what frustrates me. Netflix has all of this money. Actually, no, they don't. They don't really have all that money because Netflix apparently just started turning a profit last year.
Huh?
Yeah. Apparently Netflix has been in debt. Like, they've just been in debt trying to pay for all this content. And that's why the price keeps jumping up.
That makes sense.
Which, by the way, Netflix did another price raise this year. Ugh. I'm waiting for my mom to just be like, yeah, we're not paying for Netflix anymore. We're done. They raised it too high. We're done.
Well, now they do tiers.
I'll fully pay for Hulu.
Well, now they do tiers. So you can choose like the cheapest or the most expensive, but you get different.
And really, all they take away is like how many people can be streaming at once.
No, legit.
Like, that's it. It's not even like Hulu where they're like, yeah, if you pay for the cheapest plan, you have ads, but that's it.
We're gonna wrap this up. We've been watching iCarly. We wanted to rewatch all of it. We wanted to watch the reboot. The only place you can do that is Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus is so ghetto that it's so gross. And it's
the ghetto streaming services.
It's like, I don't understand because
and I don't say that to be offensive to the ghetto.
No.
I say that because Paramount Plus is the bottom of the tier list.
Yeah, no, it's just Paramount Plus is sketchy. That's what I'll say. Paramount Plus is sketchy. Yeah. It's like I paid for the no ad version of the free trial, and because I did the free trial, and I was like, all right, just do the ads. It doesn't matter. They will literally play ads where the bottom bar says 1 minute and 80 seconds for an ad. But then there's a circle in the
2 minutes and 20 seconds.
I'm saying, and then there's a circle up that says 45 seconds. And then it literally plays the same Frosted Flakes ad twice.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. This is super random, super tangential. Did you ever use any of the Disney Channel apps?
No.
So you could watch Disney Channel.
I know,
because this is a very specific problem that I remember. The Disney Channel streaming and the Disney XD. Yeah. That same thing would happen where it's it would play ads and it would be the exact same Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger, or Danimals or whatever ad on loop for 2 minutes, and then it gets back to the show for 30 seconds. It's all right, 2 more minutes of ads.
And then so
no.
That trial expired, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna do the upgraded one because they're both free. And then I get the upgraded one, and I was like, and then there were still ads for the first 2 times we watched an episode, and then there's just an ad at the beginning. And I'm just like, then there was one time the thumbnails didn't load. So I just had to remember where things were. There's no continue watching thing. There's literally no good shows on Paramount Plus unless you're into MTV, crummy Comedy Central originals, or Nickelodeon. Literally nothing else.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I really hope that within the next like 5 years, Paramount Plus and Peacock specifically totally sputter out.
They just need
and
to
they
die.
just throw all their stuff back on Netflix.
No, yeah, and Hulu.
Like,
we were
I
talking
feel
about...
like we're gonna reach that point where we've solidified the big streaming services are Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max. Hulu is eventually like Disney. I think they get majority stocks. Like whoever owns majority stocks in Hulu right now, or the remaining stocks, is giving them to Disney in 2024, and they will have wholly own Hulu. At that point, Hulu is gone. It gets assimilated into Disney Plus, or it'll be Disney Plus Hulu or whatever. And
Disney
like you'll have
Hulu?
your Hulu page, and it'll all be part of one account. So then you can solidify Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max. Those are the 3 streaming services. There are no more. If you try to branch out, you're not going to make it because nobody's going to pay for anything else.
I also think there was such a rush to join the streaming war that a lot of these went out way too soon. Because, like, I've used...
Well, again, remember, the streaming wars were virtually non-existent until Disney Plus showed up.
No, exactly.
I think that was the big tell. Because, like, you had Netflix and Hulu, and there was, like, you know, a couple other smaller ones down in there that nobody ever paid attention to. Netflix and Hulu were the big ones. And then Disney announced they're doing Disney Plus, and everyone's like, ooh, well, that's, you know, a very specific market to do, like, only Disney content? Like, that's very specific. And, you know, Disney Plus is going to fail. It's going to flop. And then it's, like, one of the most subscribed to streaming
National
services,
Geographic,
and everyone's like,
Star Wars, Marvel,
we can
Pixar,
do our own
ESPN,
streaming services.
Deal with Hulu. I think Hulu made the smartest decision by partnering with Disney Plus. I think they were essentially
Hulu was never making it to begin with.
No, they were like, Disney Plus, just take us now. Like, it's not.
Just remember that before Paramount Plus existed, Hulu was the sketchy streaming service.
It was.
Hulu was the bottom
of the barrel.
Like,
yeah,
they were not doing too hot
Yep.
until Disney partnered up with them. So
Here we go. And here they are making the best show of the year. Only
he's gonna
Murders
say it
in the
again
Building.
Every episode.
What a good show.
Every episode.
All right. I think it's time to put a bow on this sucker. Time to reel it in.
Yeah, I think we're done. I think we gotta reel it in. Acapella cast. Acapella podcast. That's what it was.
Acapella
I remember
cast.
saying that last year. Acapella cast.
Acapella.
Alrighty. Well, do we have a question of the week? Do you want what do you want to do? Question of the week poll. Do we do a poll and say like what's the worst streaming service?
Yeah, legit. Put it up there.
Or what's the best streaming service?
Do worst.
Actually, no. Here's what I'll do.
Worst is more fun.
Yeah, worst is more fun actually. So we'll do a poll that says what is the worst streaming service. I'll put all the options down below, and I'm gonna put a question. What do you? Because I kind of want to do both and see what happens. What do you think?
Question is,
how do we feel about man? We are just brainstorming live.
This is
on
workshopping. Hey,
workshopping live on the podcast.
Housekeeping.
You guys get to into our
into
our
the psyche. The question
aesthetic.
is. Pass.
We're struggling here. Let's you know what? Let's make the question generic. If you want, in the question down below, tell us what you've been watching, playing, reading,
Perfect.
whatever.
Here we
Just
go.
tell us.
Tell us what you're consuming.
Watching. Yeah. What are you What media are you consuming right now? What are you enjoying? Let us know in the question, and then you can also vote on the poll. What is the worst streaming service? In the description down below. And my closing thought is, if Lego Star Wars got revealed at E3 2019 and is released in 2022, then that means Breath of the Wild 2, which was revealed at E3 2019, can be released in 2022. Thank you for listening today. If you want to stay up to date with the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at The Nerdiest Podcast. And if you have feedback or a question you want to submit, you can do so through the Contact Us page on our website.
Hey, and if you're enjoying what we're doing here, giving us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify is so helpful. Because when people are looking, they can say, oh, this is a 5-star podcast, I should listen. And please tell your friends, because word of mouth is the best way for us to grow. Text them a link, do whatever, say, hey, you should listen to this because they'd really like it. Word of mouth is the best way for us to grow. Thank you very much.
Yes. Again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Peace. Out.
Bye.